back, students, from wherever you are. It's another week, another session of this compulsory set text right here, Adult's House. Last time I did an introduction to this book, and in the introduction, just to summarize what I said over there, I pointed out on the year of publication as well as the characters in the play. I also talked of other works by Henrik. What else? And what the play is basically all about. So today we are going to check Act 1 to see what it's all about. Remember, I pointed out that Adult's House is about Nora as a woman and the challenges she's facing as a married woman in a society that is patriarchal. So, when you look at Act 1, we are introduced to this family, that is Tovald Helmer and Nora's family. We are introduced to the two of them. They are two friends, that is Mrs. Linde and Dr. Rank. Also, another character that is introduced over here is Krogstad, as well as Nora's maid. So, Act 1, Nora is presented as somebody who is happy. Tovald keeps teasing her, calling her all sorts of names, my little squirrel, my little skylark, and many other silly names. So we'd assume that these two people are happily married and all that. But then as we delve deeper into the play, we realize that there's so much that meets the eye. We can assume that they are happy, but in real sense, they are not, because Nora is keeping secrets. Nora is deceitful, from the smallest things such as eating macarons to the biggest things such as taking a loan behind Tovald's back. So, as we progresses in the play, we learn that the two are not as happy as they may seem in the beginning. And then we are also introduced to, remember what we said initially, that Nora is different things to different people. To Helma, she's a doll. She's a small child to be petted, a child who has to be watched over so that she doesn't eat sweets and all that because her teeth will be damaged. To Dr. Rank and Mrs. Linde, Nora is spoiled, Nora is naive. But then as readers, we know there's much more to Nora than meets the eye. So Act 1, we learn more about Nora. We learn more about Tovald. It's important that when two people are married, they should view each other as partners. But the way Tovald looks at Nora is like he's in control of everything, and Nora can't even make the smallest decisions. He views her as a spendthrift, somebody who cannot even take care of their budget. He has to keep reminding her to spend money wisely and so on. Something else in this act also, we learned that Mrs. Linde is an old friend. They went to school together. She's back in town because she lost her husband. We also learned that the husband she lost was not the love of her life. She married not out of love but out of necessity. So this also comes out as a sacrifice. Nora makes a sacrifice for Tovald Helmer. She goes against the societal norm that a woman should not undertake any financial transaction without the consent of the husband. Nora goes against that to save Tovald's life. Mrs. Linde also marries a man she doesn't love for the reason that she wanted to take care of her ailing mom as well as her two brothers. So, women in the play sacrifice a lot for those they love, and we shall see what is the reward. Like in the case of Nora, the reward is Tovald gets better. They went to Italy for a whole year, so you can imagine how serious Tovald's sickness was. 1 year for treatment. He must have been really, really sick. So the fact that Nora sacrifices, Tovald's life is saved. The fact that Mrs. Linde goes out of her way and marries somebody she doesn't love, also uh, the reward is that her mother dies a decent death, and finally her two brothers are able to be self-dependent. So she's back in town to look for employment. there's no one to take care of now, it's only herself. We also learned that Dr. Rank is a very close friend to Helmer and Nora's family. He's a frequent visitor in their home. And Act 1 ends when the three of them go out. Mrs. Linde cannot spend the night in Nora's house because apparently it's not big enough or it's not spacious enough to accommodate Mrs. Linde. What else do you learn in Act 1? That is it. There's also something that I need to point out. In a play, this is a 3-act play, meaning we have something like this. We have something like this. I'm going to draw it here and then I'm going to show you. In Act 1, we are introduced to the lives of we are introduced into the lives of these people. In Act 2, the conflict develops. In the next video, we're going to see what is the conflict that comes about in a doll's house. In Act 3, when there's conflict, there has to be a resolution. So in Act 3, they have to find a solution to the conflict. And that is the end of the play. We are introduced to the life of the characters, the conflict develops, and then we head down to the resolution. And that is how the play ends. It's a very small play, but then it is packed with so much information, not only for the women, but also the men as well. Because as we said, literature is not only for exam purposes, it is supposed to shape our morals. It is supposed to equip us with what we need in order to do or to face life out there. Like for the boys, you learn something from Tovald. If you marry somebody's daughter, don't treat her as a doll. Remember, this is your partner. Treat her as a human being, because you might assume you're spoiling her with all sorts of names and all that, but in the real sense, all a woman wants is to be treated as a what? As a partner. Also for the girls, we learn that, not just the girls, married couple, we learn that it is important to talk to your spouse about each and everything. We don't have to hide some of these things because, as I mentioned earlier, a marriage that is built on lies will soon collapse. So that is all about Act 1. Let's meet again for another session. We discuss Act 2 and then Act 3. I don't want to bombard you with so much information. We have a lot of time. Time is in our hands. So next time I'll look at Act 2 and then Act 3, just like that. See you next time.